Okay,
All right,
it's
great.
on.
Cool. Hey guys, yeah, Vinny here again. It's Friday, chill, private AMA. Looks like we have John in here, RC in here, AL. I think maybe AL is newer to the community. Yeah, how's it going, Vladimir? You were just sick
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. I think you started. Something happened to your internet connection like a minute ago. I'm not sure if it's because of the recording or not. You started disappearing a little bit. So it's audible. Yeah, but I don't know if you changed something. But like in the very beginning, it was great, and then like in the last minute, the moment we started recording, it went not so well. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I was in a
changing the
little.
video. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe bit rate, I don't know. Yeah, so I was on a little sick leave over the last couple of days. So it's like the hottest time of the year on Cyprus. And on Cyprus, we have summer all year long. So it was like, I don't know, um, I have managed to catch a cold during the hottest time of the year in one of the hottest countries in the world. Yeah, that's like what air conditioning and like drinking ice cold cola makes to you. I'm gonna be careful next time. But yeah, I have recovered,
Good.
and now we are ready to push forward.
Yeah, so I think we should start off with the base announcement. We can review the DAO proposal. Let's go ahead and pull it up. I don't know if you want to share your screen, but I'm going to go ahead and read off of this as well. You want to share your screen, Vladimir? Maybe it's easier for us to reference.
Yeah, I think I can do that. Give me a moment.
RC said that it looks like you lost weight. Unless you're just cutting.
Unlikely. Yeah, I think I'm 125 kilos. Well, that's like 270 pounds or something like that.
Damn.
Maybe.
I'm closer to 125 pounds. Yeah, it's closer actually. I think I'm like 140 pounds or 135. But you're like much taller than I am. I think you have like a foot on me.
Yeah, I said 200, 270.
Oh, 270.
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
yeah, like heavyweight. Titans of Yedro. Yeah, let's switch. Like, yeah, like one day we'll have like, whatever.
So yeah, let me just preface this by like saying base is the expansion onto base is part of our efforts to improve the token. I think, when you have a token, there's a lot of like foundational things you have to do to attract investors organically. One of those most important things is like volume, right? Two, you have to go to where the traders are. And I think it's no surprise that Ethereum and utility tokens are a little bit dry right now. I think they'll eventually rotate back. Memes are all the craze. And we do have, a plan to get exposed to that meme ecosystem, through our services, our meme generator offer. But yeah, this is I think an important step because, if we can get consistent volume, if we can get consistent trading, bridging, it's going to help a lot. And we think that Base is a very like aligned ecosystem with Ethereum. I mean, they're designed to scale Ethereum. If it was a chain like Solana or something, that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. But Ethereum Base is, I think that the second biggest L2 now by TVL. I think they overtook Optimism recently, right? If you look at L2 beat,
we can take a look at the moment. Actually,
Llama. I usually go to L2 beat because it's just filtering by L2s. But yeah, this works too.
Yeah, whatever. We can take a look. Yeah, so we have Balance Chain, Arbitrum, and Base, and they're pretty close. Yeah, so Arbitrum like had some upward momentum lately. I believe they flipped recently. But yeah, if you'll take a look at the numbers, yes, like base is going like pretty upwards. So the last color bar is like shorter than the others because like it's not the end of the month, so it's like yeah, it's measuring not like month to date, but only the first 90 days. Of course, like by the end of the month, it will be higher. But yeah, we can see that like base has skyrocketed in the past few months.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so the base launch, I would say, is a lot of moving parts. There's a community aspect to it. Obviously, there's a governance proposal. There's opportunities for fundraising for grants. So, that will definitely be, considered over the next few weeks. There's a lot of technology components to it. So we have to set up all the right contracts, all the right bridges, do a bunch of internal development work on the bot, making sure that, the base AlphaKek token is included in our user tiers, add links on our front end, wallet stuff. So, that's like a lot of the tech stuff that Vladimir can go over. And then there's marketing. So, it's not like we're launching a new token. This is still just a multi-chain expansion, a bridge, but we still want to have like a good marketing plan because it's a very newsworthy event, right? So I can speak to like our marketing plan in a second, which includes like visual content, press releases, hiring some marketers to amplify our news. And it's also like working with that ecosystem, working with different projects there, their communities. They're actually very, very active on Farcaster. It's very, very base and Ethereum focused. So, we are in touch with, certain communities there that, we can discuss our tech too. I think it's overall just a really good network for us. One, because, they're Ethereum aligned, but there's not a lot of like strong utility projects. Most of them are memes. Like I trade on Base pretty often and it's like predominantly memes with like a few exceptions of like, there's this token called Circle, just kind of like a algorithmic, coin, but I rarely see utility projects, AI and whatnot.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So if you take a look at like base grants, their overall programs, of course they seek adoption. So while the market is predominantly memes at the moment, it's clear that they want like to pivot to more utility. Because like if you take a look at Polygon, for example, they have announced recently that they are making the opposite move. So like they are trying to attract memes and like switching back from utility, which I think not the best move like long term. They are trying to catch the hype. But that's not for us.
Yeah, I think Base is definitely more utility focused, just based off of the grants and their like hackathons. We did look at like the last hackathon, and like some of those categories weren't really fitting for us though. Like there was one that was like kind of close, but not close enough for us to really prioritize it. Do you remember which one that was?
Yeah. So the key thing like of this build-a-thon, it was called, I believe, was the fact that it was mainly sponsored by not by Base but by like their partners such as like Zora, Warpcaster, etc. And build-a-thon had multiple tracks. Each track was like funded by by one of these partners, and these partners like basically wanted this stuff built directly for themselves. So like Zora wanted something based on their NFT API and their chain. Farcaster, which is like probably was the closest match for us if we decided to participate. they want to do something with like Forecaster, and I think like eventually building like AI bot there would be a cool thing, or like having it as a data source. Eventually we will have this for sure, but like not at this stage because like we are just coming to base. They had like something related to like payment gateways to basically like simplify payments with Fiat using like some provider of sorts. And what else? There was some like front-end library for handling like events like Google Analytics does, but like on-chain, etc. Basically, like a lot of really specific. So basically, it was like not some technology like general purpose technology tracks. When you have like, for example, okay, so here's the hackathon. Here's like a track for AI. Here's for Deepin. Here's for memes, and let's just develop this stuff. It was like much more specific. It was like some specific like tech providers saying build something using our tech on base, and these like limited the amount of options for us, and basically like the only viable was Forecaster, as I've just mentioned. So we like take a look and decided it's not the highest priority for us right now, but that's just one of the many base grant programs that they are running. So we will apply for the future ones for sure.
Yeah, maybe it's a good segue into like when it comes to ecosystem incentives, grants, these kinds of programs. What is our integration like strategy, standard strategy for ecosystems? Like, what do we actually want to do? Of course, if they have a specific request like Warpcast, then we'll do a cost benefit decision and see if it's worth it. Integrating with yet another application, but the standard is like, I would say one for ecosystems is integrating their data. So essentially creating the most like the master knowledge base for that ecosystem. And we've actually already done this for layer one. It's a slow moving conversation. It's the same layer one that we've been discussing for the last few months. It's very well known, but we essentially have created the biggest centralized knowledge base of that ecosystem's information, whether it's mostly public information. Yeah, it's public news, data, on-chain data as well. And there's probably over like 1,000, maybe almost 2,000 documents. And that's being ingested dynamically in real time every day. So probably 2 or 3 different documents every single day being added to that knowledge base. So that is, I would say, useful to any community or ecosystem, because then it's easy for them to just use natural language to extract value out of it, whether it's powering their news site, powering their community chatbot, powering their docs for developers, any sort of standard use case for enterprise AI. We have that important, data integration. So that's one. We could always go down further the value chain, like actually creating their bot, doing different personas and different customizations, adding new features that we've already built out. But really it starts with, I think, the data integration for these ecosystems. Yeah, Vladimir, can you think of any other ways we could, we apply to grants? What is our ideal way to work with these ecosystems or blockchains? Token audit integration?
Well, I consider this. Yeah, so basically, like, first of all, just a minor detail. So when we're talking about like custom data integration, there are like two ways of doing this, like not mutually exclusive, just like so. The first one is like basically like static knowledge, so like documentation, etc., how to work with the ecosystem, pros and cons, etc. It's like type of knowledge that is rarely updated and being like updated incrementally as like new patch comes out, something being updated, etc. And the second category is real-time data, and like that's like tokens, like DEX activity, uh, Twitter feeds, news, a lot of stuff that we want to like put together into one like big picture, then everyone can access. And yeah, of course, like if you're talking about like dreaming, my like I would say like the dream of mine is to like power developers directly. So I guess like the issue is that like we are really in the meme coin cycle right now, so people are like not so interested in that. But I would really love to work more on like developer tools for blockchains, because like it's like hopefully, so like right now that's simply like not a huge demand for that, because like the most of it, like money in meme coins, and you simply don't need to do a lot of coding or any coding at all to launch a meme coin. But hopefully like later this year we'll have such a like opportunities. But I'm thinking about this like just from like developers perspective. That's the thing that like opportunity that like no one really does right now in the field at the moment, but that I would be like really excited to do. Yeah, if you're talking about like the stuff that's like most important in terms of value, in terms of money, of course, it's like everything trading related. So like basically all kinds of real-time data that can help with trading on this specific like ecosystem chain. And this like, yeah, of course, token audit and other things that I want to really put a huge emphasis in the coming months are like mass wallet analysis and social media activity, etc. Because yeah, I don't know. Probably I digress a little bit, and we should probably have a separate AMA about this. But yeah, if you're talking about like what tools do you want like to build on Base specifically, these would be like stuff related to real-time data, which is required to make the best like trading decisions.
Okay, yeah. So let's go back to Base. Yeah, the point was, we can apply to grants. We haven't really done a lot of grant applications. I mean, we tried one. The reason is because we've just been, so far we are, we have a very comfortable financial position. We are reinvesting everything back into the project, and yeah, fundamentally, we have plenty of traction, a pretty long queue of like enterprise clients that are mostly on like the meme side actually. So we just have to kind of clear out that backlog before we start hunting down grant applications. But yeah, it's a pretty important thing to work with new ecosystems. So to go back to Base, why are we getting on Base? It's a mixture of we want to take care of the token. That's ultimately the most important thing. We have these sort of three battlefronts that I can frame. It's the token, it's our enterprise B2B relationships, like our custom meme generators, and it's the trade related stuff. So like the alpha toolkit, the alpha alerts, the crypto research sort of utility, inside the bot. So we want to take care of these three things, and the token is pretty important. So we want to incentivize more trading volume. We want to open up the community to other members from other networks. More marketing opportunities. We mentioned grants already, so ecosystem support. And I think once that's open, it'll sort of run itself, right? You'll have more volume, you'll have more exposure, so that's good. There were like a few FAQs that we can go over as well. Like did you guys actually read the FAQs at the bottom of this snapshot document?
Actually, I think we can simply use TLDR function of alpha kickbot.
Yeah. So yeah, what we have planned for Base is, we're getting marketing lined up, spaces, trending campaigns, different vendors, We're looking for ways to promote, volume. We're doing press releases. We're gonna have some pretty good blog articles about like what we've done so far on Base. So we do have some Base integrations right now, right? So Base tokens are in our bot right now. Token audit function, the Base news, obviously. You can. What else? Are there initial LP stats for Base? That's only for Solana, right?
No, we don't have them yet, but we will have them soon, along with like much more info. Yeah. So again, like, we agreed to have this like conversation short, this particular AMA short, to concentrate just on Base. But we can say that we just had like a call with one of the biggest like crypto data providers, and there's a lot of. Yeah, I can go back just.
We'll table that one because that segues into what we're focused on after Base. Like, what are the priorities? So, I think Base is number one priority.
Yeah, so basically, like speaking of, Vinny just said like in the very beginning of his, like the very first sentence about like us being comfy, etc. The key is that like it's a bit of cliche, but we are still like really early in terms of like we don't list all the stuff that we want to do on the roadmap simply because like we don't want to share those ideas with the people, with the public yet. And our list like is really extensive, and I think like covered just like 15, maybe 20% of the stuff that we want to develop. And so while we are still like so early and there's like still a lot of ideas and functionality that we want to develop, like for crypto data analysis, we don't feel the need to rush with all the other stuff, because like we need to develop the tech to have like the best product and service, and once it's done, like the other stuff will be like much easier to work with. And yeah, of course, like initial LP, more stuff related to like historical price movements and like automated like analysis, much more like indicators, both like shown to users and both like under the hood. Also like just the overall UI UX needs to be revamped. So for example, like right now we just like show only some of the information like about the token, and we have much more under the hood, but we don't show all of it yet. And the idea is like use the AI to automatically like determine which parts of the info that we have like is more important to you and show it like only the important stuff, because like if you show you an extremely long message about like all the details, it will be hard to comprehend. And at the same time, if you make it really short, you can omit some details that are like extremely important. And basically like we have a lot of details to cover, and we'll cover them in the near future. And of course, once we are on Base, we'll be paying a higher priority like to Base chain along with the Ethereum chain, of course, to make sure that like adopters in both chains have the best possible experience.
Yeah, I think a big part of expanding a Base is just making sure there's more exposure for the token, and most importantly, more volume. So that would buy us time, and I think it was the priority. After Base, we will shift to finishing the next priority, which is finishing up the product funnel for our image generator. So yeah, let's focus on that afterwards. Maybe we could just finish this document. So I think everyone's pretty clear on the motivations. It's partially adding more utility, so being able to engage in more DeFi things, more rewards, more incentives. There's like questing programs we can join, games and things like that. Obviously, we mentioned higher volume, arbitrage opportunities. It's an extra community, and then more marketing, and then more ecosystem support potentially. So that's the motivation. Implementation wise, I think it's pretty clear. Like on here, we're gonna end the vote on the 22nd, and then we are aiming after that to launch, quote unquote, within a week. That just means that we will start allowing bridging, and we will start making announcements, rolling out, official, press releases, and just kind of amplifying that message. But it's also not like a hard deadline. Like if it takes us a week and a half or 2 weeks to put all the pieces together, because we want to make sure that it's all working in coordination, all the marketing, all the press, content. We're making some trailers, paying for trending campaigns, etc. We want to make sure that's all kind of, in unison. So if it takes a week and a half to 2 weeks, then, so be it. We'd also like to contact Base themselves to inform them on what we're doing and try to angle for, a deep relationship. So let's keep scrolling down. Motivation. Oh, did you have anything you want to add on the timeline on implementation?
Yes. So I think it could be like a bit of spoiler, but whatever. So we already have the Optimism team, and like if you don't know, Base Chain is based on Optimism stack. We already have them approved our bridge, and when the time will come, it will be shown like in the Base's official bridge app. So like we are yet to coordinate something regarding like reach out to them regarding marketing, but like devs have approved the token on their side, and like it will be
listing.
shown.
Yeah.
It will be listed there.
Okay. Also, the Uniswap, we did an analysis on like other tokens on Base, like a pretty deep analysis on how they perform and how much they raise in. Would you consider that a tax, or would you consider that more of like a
tax fee, whatever? I mean, like, if technically speaking, the stuff that we call tax, it's actually like a fee, not a tax. It's just, I guess, like people getting used. Well, whatever, just like transaction fee.
Yeah. So what we noticed was Uniswap V3 at 0.3% fee was actually more profitable for Base tokens that we analyzed than 1%. So I can only guess the rationale is like you make less per transaction, but you make it up on volume. So people psychologically prefer to buy the 0.3% token, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's very interesting stuff. I personally didn't expect this, but when I was starting checking numbers, probably like on the second something, it's logical. And another thing that they don't have, but we will, is like the very interesting situation is like that we mentioned, like I think somewhere later in the doc, in the FAQ, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, so we like intentionally have the asymmetry between like trading pairs on Base and ETH. So like on one, like only if you have higher liquidity pool and lower slippage, and like but you have higher tax, and on Base it's like exactly the opposite. You have like much lower tax, but you have like more volatility due to like a smaller liquidity pool, and the expectation is that it will open a lot of opportunities for people to arbitrage between chains, and this way like making more money for themselves, and at the same time increasing the volume like on both trading pairs on ETH and Base. That's like a really interesting thing. And I was like thinking a really lot about like what would be the best way to execute this, and that's what we came up with. And it will be a very interesting scheme that ideally will boost trading volume on both chains.
Yeah, I think that asymmetry is going to keep rebalancing itself. It's just going to be in a constant state of divergence and rebalancing. It's just endless. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about Base so far. I think it's a good move. I mean, it can only help, right? I mean, we're opening up a new community. We're creating more volatility and more volume. Well, no, we're not creating it, but we're creating the circumstances for that. And it's setting ourselves up for more relationships, potentially ecosystem support. It's also making us like a high quality project on Base. Like, I mean, do you guys know of any AI projects on Base, let alone AI infrastructure? I don't. And yeah, that kind of segues into like our probably the most in demand market, which is like meme projects. It's like becoming our biggest client base. That's going to be a good move too, because yeah, we would love to work with the top memes on Base. And we have a very good way to create that relationship and lead with a lot of value. So maybe that's a good segue into like Alpha Visuals and the custom meme generator. Should we just cut over that? Do you guys have any questions about the Base plans? Can we move on? Okay, let's maybe move on. So yeah, as you guys have noticed, the chat bot, the Telegram group is like predominantly images now. It's definitely different. It's a different makeup than when we first started, where it was mostly like research. And on one hand, it's good because it's generating a ton of user metrics for us. So when we talk to VCs and we talk to different ecosystems, they ask for user stats, and like our user stats are like growing pretty rapidly, both on the consumer side, predominantly through the Alpha Visuals generation, as well as on like the enterprise side. So we have a few enterprise clients who are using our API for images, and yeah, they're custom bots that are generating images, and yeah, the stats are going up. So on one hand, it is changing the makeup of like our group chat and like the utility. But on the other hand, it is, traction. And you can argue that like the entire ecosystem, the entire market is gravitating towards memes. Vladimir mentioned Polygon. They're going to start getting more into memes. Coinbase the other day, they just came out, and I don't know if they launched Mr. Wiggles, but it's like sponsored by Base, and it was like an early mascot that Base used in some of their like advertising. So yeah, we're starting to see like layer ones like stealth launch their own meme tokens now. Because I think a lot of these ecosystems, they know that having that flagship meme will bring in a ton of liquidity. And that's what like Myro did with Solana, right? Myro was like kind of I think one of the first blue chip, that was actually Bonk, right? Bonk with Solana. Then it was Myro. So for Base, it's like Brett, but I don't think Brett is like an insider play by Coinbase. I do think that Mr. Wiggles is. So the point is, like, I think it's a good market. We should lean into it. We should continue to just service that market. We're getting inquiries again still every day. I realize we haven't announced any new partnerships since Moontrump, but we're talking to like a lot of projects. It's actually too many. One of them is a $120 million market cap meme coin on Ethereum, and we just delivered their custom meme generator V1, and that needs to be approved, and it has to be iterated. So these are kind of slower moving conversations because the quality has to be good, and this is being generated through AI. And when it comes to these like custom mascots that are sometimes very obscure, like they're not like referencing like an actual real animal. It's like made up, right? Think of like Brett, for example. Like, what is Brett? Is it like a dog or something? So this is what kind of slows down the sales cycle, but the pipeline is actually very wide. And my point was we should lean into it and get these like flagship clients under our belt, these partnerships under our belt. One. Two, optimize the onboarding. So clear up that sales funnel. So we're actually working on ways to, like an assembly line, onboard these clients very quickly, these meme projects. Again, sort of like what Pal AI does for like community engagement chatbots. We want to do that same thing for custom meme generators. So we're working on this like internal process that will like quickly speed up the training process of the image model on that custom mascot. Once we nail this, we can onboard them very quickly, and we can actually start pumping out custom meme generators to gift the biggest communities. So this is what I'm talking about the sales funnel. Like once we optimize this, we can actually move on and move to the next big battlefront, which is like crypto research again, sort of what we originally started. So I realized, yeah, like we've been kind of like meme maxis recently. I think it's aligned to the market. I think it's engaging. I think people enjoy that stuff. I mean, you know, they voluntarily use it for that reason, right? And it's given us a lot of traction. So let's definitely continue that. But there is an end game, which is we finish that sales funnel, get it optimized, create that ecosystem of memes, and then move back to our other battlefront, which is crypto research. Vladimir, do you have anything to add to that before we move on to crypto research?
No, I think it was pretty clear. Thank you.
Let me see if there's any other memes you want to discuss. I mean, we just can't disclose any clients, but like, yeah, I guess we can't really disclose that. So, okay. So speaking of moving back to crypto research, the way I look at it is it's an arms race to collect as much data as possible, both off-chain and on-chain, ingest it into our data engine, which is like optimized for synthesizing this information, making connections, and extracting like insights from it very quickly. And the key is like to get insights from multiple modalities and sources, and the wider, the more diverse, the better, right? So if you look at on-chain data versus like very obscure internet forums that are discussing the same topic, like if we can make those connections, great. And then we also want to piggyback off of existing crypto tools used for crypto research. So that's why, you know, having a alpha alert bot, a trade alert bot is very important because one, they're not leveraging AI to the fullest extent because they're predominantly all wrappers. But two, that's what the market wants, right? They want to be spoon-fed what to buy and sell. So what we're trying to build first is the actual toolkit underlying that. The chatbot and the alerts are essentially, they're kind of the same product. They're just displayed in different ways, and they're for different types of users. Some users prefer to research through natural language. Some people prefer to have that insight templated, refined and then delivered, to their Telegram. And that's probably a predominant, that's probably most of them. But the underlying data integrations are actually the most difficult part. That's the biggest bottleneck. And yeah, we are in talks with some vendors that will help streamline this process, for us a lot. And maybe Vladimir, you can get into that data, the on-chain data strategy.
Yeah, I think I can just recap a little bit with the thing that we covered on the previous CMA, just a reminder. So the thing is, especially in the latest cycle, the problem is it's not only about memes. Some other issues look like often it's like insider controlled or like insider triggered, and that means that like the information about whether some specific token is like good or bad comes not from the token data itself, not from like is this a honeypot, or what's like the token holders distribution, or like what's the chart, but it seems to be like that more and more information are happening like from the outside, like who exactly the people who are like buying and selling it, what are like the wallets, what else do these wallets do, etc., etc. And yeah, the key idea is that like we will be moving from like ranking some specific tokens as like good or bad to start like ranking the buyers and sellers of these tokens. Use this as a metric, and doing this requires like operating with really large amounts of data, and doing this is quite expensive, and we are exploring a lot of different data providers to figure out the most efficient way to do this. And we have like multiple options, and we are going to choose like one or some of them. And of course, like and of course you will see like of course you will see like some intermediate results already. So it will be basically like just more information, individual token audit already. Sorry, and later on you will see it like the final version of it, which will be like the actual alerts.
Yeah. So once we start working with these new data,
sorry. And one more idea is to add like more social element to it. And again, that's the thing that you will see. But basically, like right now, we have the visuals that people are like basically like playing around and sharing. And the idea is to provide a similar experience for token audit and alpha chat as well, make it like more shareable and make it like on one hand more like exciting to use like day to day, and also like more viral. And you'll see.
Yeah, and ultimately we're trying to add more value to our existing app, which is the crypto research chatbot, Alpha Chat, and kick off our toolkit, which is the underlying alerts that powers our alert system. When we've been building in stealth, so the alert system is it's an MVP status. So there is a we're testing internally. We have a room where getting the alerts, and we're just refining it. But we need more on-chain data, ideally more social data too. But once we get this new provider, we'll be able to improve the chatbot, add more value to it there, and then start working on the launch of the Alpha Alert system. And we're not creating something like, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just taking existing bots in the market that we like, and we're just taking the best of both worlds, right? And our team of advisors, our whales, our early holders, they're extremely active in the space. So they're constantly experimenting with these bots. They're trading with them. They have their own sort of methodologies where they'll cross-check new launches against different bubble maps, different rug checks, holder distribution, bots. They've devised like really good like strategies, especially for like new launches. And we're confident that just being able to piece together the best alert systems together, plus tried and true like I guess like degen methodologies, we'll be able to create something really, really good, because we already have an advantage, which is like we have a lot more data, than most of these bots. And we have a much better AI to process that data. So this is uncharted territory. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to suspend my judgment and be pleasantly surprised later. What was I going to say after that? So yeah, talking about making the bot more viral. So I think another topic we want to go over is like, how do we convert new users better into token holders and app users? So, if we think about our Telegram bot as like a funnel, there's actually multiple ways they diverge. Once they go into our Telegram group, they can be funneled into being a consumer user of the bot and like buy the token and buy more tokens because they want more and more access to different commands, more images, higher thresholds, user limits, access to the new commands like meme and video, etc. And they can even become like an elite tier, which we haven't officially disclosed yet. That's one funnel. It's like going far down the consumer route and just fully utilizing our applications as a consumer. The second funnel is being an enterprise user using our API to power their tools or applications. So if they have a chat bot or a research dashboard or a really any app that has an OpenAI integration or Anthropic, or they have an AI roadmap in place, then they can switch to us. So that's sort of another funnel, and that the third funnel is custom bots, so services. I put Moontrump in that category. Anybody that needs a custom variation of our standard chat bot, whether on the image side or on the chat side. If somebody wanted to create like a custom Trump bot that speaks in a Trump persona that has all the same crypto research functionalities, sentiment analysis, token audit, the community engagement tools like the chat summaries, but also have access to like political data, political news. We can create a custom chatbot for them. We can create a custom data integration with all of Trump's tweets, for example, or all the most recent events surrounding Trump. That's a custom chatbot, right, service. And then on the image side, you've seen this already. Any project who wants to generate custom visuals, whether out of the box as is, or they want to custom train their mascot on that bot. So there's these three funnels, but as new traffic, new members jump into the group chat and start using it, they're not exactly converting very well. So that's something we want to improve. Like, they're using the free tier a lot. Maybe there's a way we can first reduce the limits, but also incentivize them to do non-monetary things that benefit us. For example, questing. If you want to use free tier, then you should tweet, right? When you start using the bot, you send out a tweet. Or if you use the bot, you should, and it's for an image, you should showcase it at least once. And then you should use specific hashtags like our ticker and our Twitter, our hashtag, etc. Right? So there's a couple of ways we can, I think, improve the sales funnel all the way down from the beginning of them joining the Telegram. Another thing we could do is we can open up the bot. We can remove the gating from the bot. Like, as you guys know, not any group can add the bot. It's currently exclusive. It requires activation, and we, the team, have to actually allow each group to activate the bot. This is the exact opposite strategy of most bots, whether it's like Chatter Shield, these raid bots, these community management bots like Rose and Safeguard, and these trending bots, sniper bots, they all have like a free tier, and then they will upsell. So we are gonna make moves towards that, and that means that people will have tons of value. They'll have like one of the best research chatbots and image generators in the market, maybe the best, for free, but there'll be very strict thresholds on what you could use. And our goal is to have that those guys convert into holders, and or promote us online to keep using those things. So that's opening up the sales funnel.
Hey, Vinny, I don't know, it's not maybe the place to brainstorm or anything, but you mentioned maybe adding in Twitter data, right? Or X data. Maybe there's some incentive there for free tier users. We mentioned tweeting out the bot or using the cash tag, et cetera. I'd like to see just maybe more AI implementation in this sort of these environments. So if we have access to Twitter data, and I don't know what's involved in all that, whether you have to go through the API, et cetera, et cetera. But I know, Vladimir, you had said, when X announced Grok, that they were sitting on a treasure trove of data. But if we also just sort of build on that, and then back to my original point is that if people are incentivized to tweet out about AlphaCac, we should be able to monitor that and then say, hey, for every tweet that you make about AlphaCac, you get 1 credit or whatever, however that might work. I'm sure that would be on a back end and maybe not necessarily directly tokenized, but just an idea.
Yeah, what you're describing is a questing program, essentially, where people are not rewarded in a sense where we give them tokens for tweeting and rating and stuff, but we are giving them value in the form of app credits, right? Allowances. And there's a way where you can have them register their Twitter to use the bot. So I believe what happens is they click on the bot, they hit start, it requests their Twitter account, they drop it in there, they're given a code, they need to tweet out that code, and then the bot will verify if that account has tweeted that code. Then the accounts are linked. So if we want to verify that someone has gone through our questing, which is, hey, you need to tweet about us once, and you have to tweet this template, right? We can actually call the Twitter API and verify that our community members have done that. And then say, if they haven't done that, you don't have the allowances of free tier or something. So that's one way we can use a Twitter API. If you're talking about using Twitter social data for improving our AI engine, it's kind of an old conversation, which is Twitter is gated, so it's very hard to get a lot of social data because it's very expensive. But the good news is everybody else has the same problem. So yeah, I think I will definitely want to work on that, because even though we can't get monetary value from them right now because they're not buying as many tokens as we want, they're using the free tier, but they're not either buying as many tokens or they're not buying it as quickly as we expected. Maybe we can just ask them for non-monetary compensation in the form of, tweeting online, broadcasting it. And, I don't necessarily think that maybe the conversion rate is something, there's something wrong with us. I think most people just want to use stuff for free. And a minority is going to say, okay, well, now I want to upgrade. So I don't really know what the percentage is of I don't know what the conversion rate is, because, this is these are anonymous people, and it's crypto. So I can't really measure conversion rates very accurately, but we can work on that. But we know that the conversion rate needs to go up. So that can only help. So yeah, I definitely want to implement some sort of testing program. I think maybe requiring the Twitter verification, that will add some friction, but maybe that's a good thing. And it's not like we're putting them at risk, because it's not like they're giving us their credentials to Twitter. Like we're not connecting to their Twitter. We're just asking them to tweet something to link, their profiles together. So yeah, I think it's a good idea, the questing.
Yeah, just a minor edit that we actually have Twitter data, but we scan only some specific Twitter accounts because, the deal makes it quite pricey to collect all of it. But it's also like a thing that will like scale up in the future. That's just the issue of like having more users, because like once we extract some data from Twitter, everyone can use it, and this way we have set the costs. So yeah, this stuff will be scaling up. We can think about like things that we can do on Telegram as well if you started brainstorming. So for example, require people to be subscribed to our like channel, not only group chat, for example. I'm not sure if it makes sense. But yeah.
There's a couple of things we definitely want from them. We want them to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our channel, obviously tweet something, ideally like an image, or whatever they create, they should try to share it. But, I don't think this is like a bad problem to have. We have, we're optimized for growth right now. Like the most important thing was growth. This is why, like when we set up, B2B relationships, if we're given a choice, we'd rather have some revenue or some marketing exposure. If you're thinking of, let's just say, the example of Nikati Maker, right? The NFT collection that sold out that used Alpha Kek. I think he was on premium when he created that collection, prompting each image one by one. We'd rather have that right now at this stage in our project. We're optimized for growth. We want users. We want higher metrics. And then we start figuring out, okay, how do we limit things? How do we ask for, something in return? And we're probably getting close to that point. So, it's good. It's definitely a good problem to have. How to convert better.
Yeah, and we are the only service that can generate such kind of things. So it's not like you can compare this to Midjourney or ChatGPT or whatever else. And I think like ChatGPT requires like a subscription to use DALL-E. So yeah, we'll figure this out.
I guess in a nutshell, to like summarize this entire thing, once Base is done, which helps us kind of support the token, at least it creates a foundation for us to support the token. We can go back to finishing the meme generator, and then the research stuff. I consider the research chatbot like the crypto version of Perplexity. I consider Alpha Visuals, the image generation, like the crypto version of Midjourney, like a DALL-E, but unbiased, and a lot more like crypto focused with memes and so Wojaks and stuff like that. I don't know if there's like an equivalent in Web2 of our custom meme generator. Like, are there companies, agencies that offer like custom training of image models for like communities in Web2? I guess that's what Cohere. No, maybe Stability AI does that, right? They probably have like services like that, but it's probably really, really expensive.
Well, actually, if you know such an example, so one of our like potential clients that we previously mentioned told us that they were using such a service actually, and they haven't managed to achieve any of this results. So they used Civit AI, and that they provide such an option. And they say that they have tried multiple times and they like haven't achieved any usable results at all. And our first attempt was much better than like any of their attempts, and they were like genuinely impressed by that. So yeah, there are some automated services that they that can make this, not like white gloves, like in our case, because like unfortunately, like the data is unique, and so like not really unfortunately, because like this stuff is like hard and expensive for a reason. Because like usually you need to apply your knowledge and experience to each unique case, because like data is always slightly different, and your approach should be slightly different.
Yeah, I mean, so vary pretty drastically.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, there are services that provide such kind of stuff, but they simply like they're too generic, and they can't really work for this use case.
Yeah, so when we kind of wrap up the base launch, when we wrap up the custom meme generator workflow and clear out our backlog of applicants, we'll go back to the crypto research stuff. And our vision for the research chatbot is essentially the crypto of the perplexity of crypto. I think perplexity is a great reference, like from a product perspective, just the way it's designed, tons of sources, right? It's not alternative to search. Yeah, I really like perplexity for like Web 2 usage. So that's sort of my inspiration for like what Alpha Chat will be, especially the web app, right? For the API, it's pretty obvious. For the visual API, Midjourney is like the reference point. It's crypto. It's Midjourney for crypto. For the Alpha Chat, it's OpenAI for crypto. For the custom meme generator, there is no reference. Yeah, we're like in a complete blue ocean here. Because it's so expensive for other people to do it, and it's also very difficult to get quality. Both things we're actually on the cusp of solving. So there's also a knowledge gap too. Like you have to be very, very knowledgeable in the space. And yeah, given Vladimir and his brother's experience with generating images in enterprise software, I don't think people really know to the full extent what you and Valerie did in like enterprise software on the image generation side, like all the diffusion models that you trained, the kind of stuff that you generated.
Yeah, but like it's covered by NDA, so you can basically disclose everything. So like we can use our skills, but we can't tell people how did we get those skills.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right, like memes vary a lot, and it does require like a different approach to all of them. Like if it's like a realistic looking cat, or if it's a well-known meme like a Pepe, but it's like a variation of that. Those are two very different memes. And then you have another meme, which is it's a completely new visual. Like, okay, let's just say okay egg, right? That's like there is no other reference point, so you have to actually require a big data set so that the AI understands over time like what okay egg actually is, what this mascot actually is, by learning seeing that mascot in different scenarios, whether it's sitting down or like eating something or in different outfits. If the sample size is too small, then it's going to affect the output.
Yeah, but we digressed a little bit from the base stuff.
Yeah. So AS had a question about arbitrage, protection from arbitrage.
Yeah, actually.
Well, the protection is you. It's people pursuing their own selfish interests and trying to make a profit by buying one token, bridging it, and selling on the other side, and vice versa. I can't say when that divergence is big enough to incentivize someone to spend their time doing that, but I imagine like people will do it for like a few dollars. I don't know. That's just my guess.
Yeah, we'll see. So, I think you're confusing like arbitrage with MEV. Basically, there's like kind of arbitrage that people don't like is like when you submit a transaction and someone front runs you and like buys stuff just before you, then like sells it just after you, and like this way extracting some profits. that's not the case like for us. So like arbitrage in our case means like making transactions on two different chains, and in this scenario, like actually people who will be doing arbitrage, they will be doing the good thing like for the whole economy of AICAC, because they will be like making sure the price is fair on both chains. So like if one chain is going like too low or too high, they will be stabilizing it. And at the same time, they will be like generating volume, who's like making the token go up in all the kinds of ratings. And
guys, it's the same thing as arbitrage between DEX and centralized exchange.
Yeah.
Like if a token is on a centralized exchange, there's arbitrage opportunities, and people bridge between the two exchanges and buy and sell all the time, and it always rebalances itself, right? It's not something we have to really regulate. If two prices are different, someone's going to take advantage of the opportunity. If they didn't, then I don't know. That's just, I wouldn't know why that wouldn't happen. Maybe I'm not sure if I answered your question, but it's just not something we can really predict. It's like, if there's two identical things in reality that are different prices, then someone's going to go into the marketplace, buy a bunch of that stuff wholesale, and then sell it retail, right? It's like,
yeah. So basically, it will depend on the volatility of the base pair, and we know it will have a higher volatility than Ethereum one. So yeah, we will see. But like generally, any kind of volatility and arbitrage on this stuff is a great thing for everyone, both for like AICAC holders and both for development team as well, because like it will increase the overall trading volume on both trading pairs, and this will like make token go up in all kinds of ratings, and also generating more revenue that we can feed into like covering more, running more servers, analyzing more data, etc., etc.
Yeah, there's all sorts of like trending
more
bots.
buybacks.
Yeah, there's all sorts of like leaderboards, trending bots. You know, Dex Screener has like trending for volume. Volume is like extremely important for like attracting eyeballs. If there's no volume, then people tend to not ape in because they're worried, right? Like, so yeah, volume is like one of the most important things to generate trust in attracting new money, new capital. Okay, the other question we have here is, when do you estimate marketing will begin to ramp up? Hard to say because, again, we have to coordinate a bunch of different vendors together, marketing people, press releases, trending campaigns. Ideally, we'd want to get Base in the mix on that, a Base project. We just want as many things firing off at once as possible. So if we need to push it 1-2 weeks, we'll do it. If something lags behind, we're just gonna go forward anyways because we can always ramp up later. So next question is 1,000 tokens for premium. I thought it was 100.
It replies to some comments.
Premium holders. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's actually it's unclear what the user tiers and the limits are. So we're gonna make it a lot more clear. We're gonna publish something more comprehensive on the docs page about every single tier, especially because we have a new tier now, which is Elite tier. What commands you're allowed per tier, what the thresholds are, what the limits are, right? Concurrent requests, how many requests per hour or 2 hours, and the dollar value that's required. And we will try to make it more obvious in the bot as well.
But also like expected to have the access to video generator for holding $100 of token, not like paying $100, but like holding it. It's kind of silly. because like video tech like is cutting edge and compute intensive, so of course it's a bit less accessible.
Yeah, I mean, our actual costs are not bad. It's because of our infrastructure, the way that Vladimir built it, with the hybrid cloud and local solution, plus Fractal, the knowledge graph. It really lowers the cost. I mean, a lot of the costs are actually lower than our big tech competitors, Midjourney, DALL-E, OpenAI, or very, very comparable to that. I think for the most part, cheaper. So like fun.
I'm just saying that it's not the limit, and we can go even cheaper later.
Yeah, actually, the more our community grows, the marginal cost goes down. So yeah, like financially, we're in a great position. We don't need to take money out of the company. We reinvest everything back in. Fixed costs, variable costs are pretty low. I mean, it's a long-term thing. So cool. Anything else you guys want to ask? Oh yeah, rebrand, getting pretty close. So they are starting on the website now. They finished the branding and they're going through wireframes. So they're working on the homepage. They're working on the new B2C landing page, B2B. The most important thing is that it looks very, very professional and like it looks like $100 million project. That's my opinion. So that's gonna be good.
At
least, yeah. I mean, I think it looks much better than our top competitors in the AI space, in the AI Web3 space. Yeah,
I'm really happy with what's coming up. I can't wait to share with everyone. And also make a t-shirts with the new style, so I can wear them in the gym and everywhere.
Merch. Yeah, make an extra small for me, so I can wear it to Super. So when was it? Token 2049. Yeah, we should get merch by then because that's in September. Token 2049.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not October. Wait, is October or September?
September, 2 months. Exactly 2 months, I think.
September, what day? Because September.
Yeah, I think it's like 19th and 20th of September. So it's exactly 2 months.
Okay, good. Because I got to go to Hong Kong early September. I just found out for a investment conference. All right. Cool. Any other questions, guys? Uniswap doesn't allow swap of BTC or XMR now. We're focused on ETH, and then we're expanding to Base. We'll probably stop there for a while, unless another EVM chain gives us an incentive to expand further. But
there's not a lot of data to trade around BTC or Monero. So the whole trading volume is concentrated. The whole gains and losses, those crazy profits opportunities, they are all rotating around smart contracts, and therefore around Base, Solana, Ethereum, at least at the moment. So of course that's the part that we are targeting the most. And Monero is the tool that's designed to provide as little information about itself as possible. And our idea is to extract as much information as possible to use it for crypto research. So Monero is by design the worst pick for us.
Yeah, I mean I love Monero though. It's like a currency.
Yeah, of course. So as a way of trading, peer-to-peer trading and financial security. As a person who knows firsthand how does it feel when the government blocks your assets, some of your assets. Yeah, I really love crypto.
Because of your nationality, not because of your actions. It's because of what you're going into.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, good chat. All eyes on Base. That's the biggest priority. Then we'll shift to onboarding the rest of our meme generator client partners. And then we'll shift back to upgrading our research stuff, research chatbot, Alpha Chat, and launching our alerts. So, yep. And then we got to apply to a lot more grants too, because that's just money on the table.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you
guys
very much. See ya.
Take care.